Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Week 3 video lecture for the Advanced Conversation, or perhaps better titled Advanced Speaking course. All right. Uh, I'm currently going through your introductions and taking a look at your scripts, and I'll try to give you feedback on those as quickly as possible. Keep in mind, I do have many students this semester, but I'll try to get that back to you as soon as possible. All right, but currently, for the video I'm making for you right now, I would like to discuss our first graded task. All right, I hope you enjoyed the first two tasks. They were kind of warm-ups so that we could get a little bit more comfortable in understanding this course and getting comfortable with this semester. We could warm up and start thinking about some aspects of pronunciation in the beginning, where again I encourage you, if you feel like you need to especially work on your pronunciation, we began thinking about that in the first week, and you can focus on that every week, and with that kind of focused practice, you can really develop it consciously throughout this course and throughout the different tasks that we will be accomplishing this semester. All right, and of course, last week we did the introductions, and I asked you to put them on video because everything we'll be doing moving forward, as long as we're online, will be in a video format as well. So that brings us to this week's video task, which is our first graded video task. Okay, so I just want to make a short video today and talk about our objectives and why we're going to do what we're doing, why do this task, and what I hope you can learn from it and how you can learn from it, and also the process to follow to be successful at this task as well. I have included for you some very detailed notes that can help you with this specific task, so I highly recommend that you read those notes carefully and try to apply some of that knowledge to this assignment as well. All right. Again, just want to say good job on the on those introduction videos. It was wonderful to try and get to know you. It's one of the better parts of my job currently, because I really do miss being in class. But at least through these videos and hearing your voices and getting to know you a little bit, I feel a little bit more in touch with my Chum Book Day community. So thank you. Those videos are wonderful. I hope they're just the beginning of some more wonderful material that I'll get to review and that you can share with each other as well. All right. Now, for this class, as I mentioned, we're going to be doing video tasks, and we're going to do 6 graded video tasks. Okay, the first 2 tasks, week 1 and week 2, they are not part of your grade, but beginning with this video task, we will start to include grading. In the video for next week, I'll explain the grading a little bit more in detail, but I will give you the basics of grading in this week's material as well. All right, so we have 6 graded video assignments, and each of those assignments are going to take us roughly 2 weeks each. Okay, and we're going to follow the kind of same basic process here. All right, so if we have one video task, 2 weeks, the first week I would like you to obviously perform that task and make the video to the best of your ability. In the second week following that, right, we're going to grade our classmates' videos. So you'll be having to watch some of your classmates' videos carefully and follow the rubric, right, which is the way that we grade, okay, the scoring sheet, and you'll have to do your best to grade your classmates' videos. All right. So 2 weeks for each assignment. The first week for making your own video, and the second week for watching, sharing, and grading your classmates' videos. Okay. So let's get into task number 1, video task number 1. All right, our first task, this is hopefully an interesting one for you. We are going to be making a 4 or 5 minute news report. Okay, pay attention. 4 or 5 minute news report. Not shorter, not longer. Okay, pay attention to the time. 4 or 5 minute news report. So what I want you to do is go out and find some sort of hot news issue and make your own news report that is 4 or 5 minutes long, and you are going to take the role of news reporter or announcer in this case. All right. Okay, so let's talk about how and why. What can we get from this kind of task? All right. Well, hopefully it's fun and interesting, but more importantly, hopefully we can learn something from this. Okay. Now this is an advanced speaking class, so my goal in really trying to put together these tasks and do what I'm asking of you is to really focus on different speaking skills and speaking strategies and roles that hopefully will give you some practical experience. All right, because in the various roles that you'll do, they kind of hope to give you some sort of authentic experience that you will come across as an English speaker in the world. Okay, so in that I'm including how we use language differently according to the different roles that we have, right? And that means using a kind of different kind of sentence structures and grammar, different kind of vocabulary as well. So there's all these different challenges. Even the pronunciation will change in how you affect emotion or feeling or mood in your speaking situations as well. All right, so I want to provide you all these different ways that will challenge your speaking ability, not just your vocabulary, but your speaking style and sentence structuring, and your pronunciation as well. Okay, so that's the basis for my choice in creating these different tasks and asking you to accomplish them. All right, so again, my hope is that they are practical and authentic and effective and interesting, and more interesting than any kind of conversation textbook or grammar textbook we will follow. All right, I just want to put you into these roles and allow you as the intelligent students you are to try and fill these roles up in the best way that you know how, and apply all your knowledge and experience, or try to in these different roles. Okay, so this week I'm asking you to play the role of news reporter. All right, so if you want to think about that in a more kind of intellectual, academic way, as a student, what do you have to do to be a news reporter? All All right, well, you have to report. Okay, and that means to say again. To report means to take information from this source and to convey that information to your audience. All right, that's what a reporter is doing, taking information from here, analyzing it, synthesizing it, and communicating it to another audience. That's your job. So you need to think about how can you do that successfully. All right, so there's things to think about there. Obviously, for speaking, right, we want to be clear. We want to sound convincing. So work on your clear pronunciation. All right, I'm sure you watch the news all the time. Maybe you don't or haven't thought about their pronunciation, but I encourage you to think about how news reporters do speak, right? What are they consciously doing with their voices when they report the news? Okay, that is your job here too. And what goes on with that too, you might want to look in the notes. When we think about grammar, sentence structure, the vocabulary you're using, there's a lot of important things to think about, all right? That's not an accident and not a gift. This is a job, right? To write the news and to report the news. So when you think about a news story, reporting a hot news story, here's some advice. Again, there are some very thorough notes that I will direct you to read carefully. And especially if you are really interested in this kind of thing, or perhaps you're even considering it as a job or a career. The website you'll find at the web address at the end of the notes, and you can go check this out. I've just included the notes on language and style basics, right? The style meaning the way of communicating, of using the language. But this website has a lot of information that you would probably love to know if you're thinking about a career in news broadcasting as well. So I encourage you to check that out. Definitely read the notes. It will help you with this assignment and help you with your English skills. But if you're interested in a career, there's a lot of good information at that website. Many more chapters to discover there. But in terms of the language, let me just give you some really direct hints and pointers here. Okay, when we talk about kind of news English or news language, we're always talking about delivering information, conveying information from one source to another. All right, so a lot of it, you see this too if you read news articles in the newspaper or online. It's all about conveying or giving the information about who, what, when, where, why, how. And the way news articles, if they're written, are constructed is to give that information up at the top, all right? In terms of an article, it's written in called an inverted pyramid kind of form. So all the facts and details, the who, what, when, where, why, how, that's up at the beginning, and then you go into deeper details towards the end of the story. That's a typical format for a written news article. All right. Now, it's not much different when you look at television news. So even though we're focused on speaking, consider how news articles are written, or in this case, organized, before they are reported, before that information is given. Okay, before it's presented to you. It's very similar. They give you the really important details up front, and then depending on how much time they have and how much information they have, it kind of gets into kind of more deeper details, or it investigates other aspects of the story depending on how much time is given to the story. All right. So your own report should reflect that too. Try to give us the who, what, when, where, why, how right at the beginning. Okay. Also, when you think about the sentence structures, okay, it's the sentence structures are not going to be like what you'd read in a kind of an old novel, long and rambling, and it doesn't get to the point. It doesn't give you the information directly. No. Okay, news reports are going to give you the information directly, and that reflects itself in the sentence structure. Okay, and here, especially if we're dealing with spoken, reported news, okay, we're using a kind of different grammar, different spoken grammar. It's going to be shorter sentences, 20 or 30 words, active voice. Okay, don't use the passive voice as much. Use active voices because the active voice is easier to understand and comprehend. Okay, any studies of linguistics will prove that audiences typically will be able to comprehend or understand sentences spoken in the active voice. All right, so use the active voice, keep them short, and then think about vocabulary. All right, you want to consider a lot of good content words that clearly and concisely, okay, not too long, concisely deliver that information. Also, because, well, we're talking about the news here too, and if the news is truly new, brand new, we have to think about the vocabulary we're using, right? Especially if it's a hot new topic that the audience is not familiar with, you may need to define some of the language that you're using or define some of the concepts that you're using within the language and the sentence structures you're using too. So how can you best accomplish that? All right, you're not telling a story, you're not writing a book, you're giving the news. This is a spoken from my mouth to your ears news broadcast. All right, so the way you use language should reflect that. Okay, so again, keep that in mind. All right, these are the strategies and the concepts we need to employ to be successful at this task. Now, even though I'm asking you to be a news reporter, all right, the practical aspects here, again, are more about how to speak effectively. All right, and focusing on this role as a news reporter allows you to kind of improve these certain aspects that are important. So you may not be considering a career as a news reporter. However, you are all students. So many of you have to give presentations. So the skills are the same. When you give a presentation, you're reporting information. So you're going to have a lot of carryover and overlap of the skills that you need to make a news report for your life effectively as a student. Or also later in life, or maybe right now, if you have jobs, these skills are going to be important in whether you're giving presentations or not, or just communicating with your coworkers. It's going to be effective. It's going to help to develop those effective communication skills. All right, and those communication skills, whether you're a student, whether you're a worker, or whether you're just a good old-fashioned regular person, are always very helpful to have. All right, so again, the goals here, the language goals we're looking at, the communication goals, it's all about conveying information, reporting information. And to do that, we need to think about speaking clearly, pacing our language, structuring our sentences effectively, using vocabulary, and organizing our thoughts in a way that we can communicate information from us to our audience. All right, so again, I highly recommend that you read carefully the notes in here. They get into a lot more specific aspects about grammar and language, and that can be very helpful for you. So let's talk about now how to do this. Okay, what is our process here? Okay, as I said, our overall goal is to produce a 4 or 5 minute news report on any news topic that is currently in our world. Okay, first of all, I recommend that you prepare. All right, so the best way to prepare is to go and see what's in the news. Right, I recommend you see what's in the news, choose one hot topic, okay, new hot story, whatever's happening, whatever interests you among the news of the world, and go and read about it. Okay, just look at reading news articles in English, preferably, because you really want to focus on improving your English language here, right? So go and find news articles, written news articles, CNN, ABC, CBC, CBS, from any country, English speaking, or any English news site. It doesn't have to be in an English speaking country, but any English news site, and read 2 or 3 articles if you can about the same topic. That can be helpful as well. All right, so you develop a kind of a better understanding of the topic, of the vocabulary, and also the way it's being reported. All right, next I want you to go and find videos of English speaking announcers reporting on that topic. Okay, so again, try different sources like CNN or CBS, ABC, the big American ones. In Canada, CBC. In England, BBC. All right, but find English speakers reporting on those topics that you read about. Okay, try to stay focused on that one topic. It'll be easier for you. And then pay attention to their pronunciation, to their posture, their gestures, to the way they read, okay, the pacing, their intonation, their stress. Pay attention to their sentence structure, all of the different language aspects, as well as their presentation aspects too. Okay, and you are going to want to mimic this. You are going to want to imitate this. All right, so that's just preparation. And of course, your job will be to do your best to imitate an English news report, video news report. So I encourage you to make a script. Okay, all of these news reporters, they started with some sort of written script. Okay, so make your own written script as well. It will help you as a non-native speaker focus more on the language, choose the right vocabulary, try to apply the kind of active voice and the short sentence structure that I've discussed and that the notes discuss as well. But make that script and learn it. And actually, by writing it, you will actually learn it better that way too. All right? If you want to memorize something, it's much easier to memorize something that you yourself have written rather than something that somebody else has written. Okay, just because it's your words and it comes from your brain. So make your own script. And I don't need you to memorize it. Okay, this is not an acting class. It is a conversation and speaking class, right? And you don't have to be 100% perfect. No news reporters are 100% perfect when they report the news, okay? We're not looking for perfection here, but we want to do our best to mimic what we're seeing and play that role of news reporter. But I want us to do it naturally and authentically. So we may have a script, but hopefully you know that script well enough. You can have it there with you if it makes you feel more comfortable, but we're not looking for perfect memorization. All right? Just like I'm speaking to you with this video, I have my written notes here that I use to follow, but I'm not relying on them. Okay? I already know how I want to present this, what words I need to emphasize. That's what I'm thinking about. Okay? And on your video, to make it more like a news report, you do not want to appear like you're reading. All right? News reporters are trained to, even though many of them are reading teleprompts, they're trained not to appear like they are reading, even if they are. Okay? And when it comes to your grade for this assignment and all other assignments, even if you do make scripts, and I do encourage you to make scripts, if you look like you are reading everything, one, it's the presentation of your video is not going to be very interesting, and it will be more boring. And you will be penalized in how you are graded. Okay? One, because it'll be less interesting and less captivating if you are just reading like this and not paying attention to your pronunciation and not making eye contact with the camera and with your audience. And I am going to ask your classmates to penalize you for reading if you do appear to be reading. All right? So, again, make a script, practice it, but try to present it as naturally as possible, and that does not include reading it. All right? You will be penalized for it. Okay, so that is what you need to accomplish in the first week. All right, and you're going to make your 4 or 5 minute news report, and then you are going to post it into the Kakao chat room on Thursday, the 23rd of December. If you want to get it done before that, fine. It's going to be Chuseok before then. So Thursday, the 23rd is when I expect you to have that posted in the Kakao chat room. All right. So you'll have a little bit of a short week because of Chuseok, but it's only a 4 or 5 minute video. It's our first, and you can post it by Thursday, 23rd December. That's week 1. Okay, making the video, posting it to Kakao. All right. Week 2 is when we get to share them. So you will see all these videos, just like with the introduction videos we looked at this week or the week before. And then you are going to be grading your classmates. All right, so let me just briefly explain this today, but I will explain it in more detail next week. All right, you will have to watch about probably 4 or 5 videos from your classmates, and you will have to grade them. So again, we have 6 video tasks that are worth 15%. So of the 15%, okay, 7.5% will come from all of the classmates who watch your video and grade it, and then 7.5% will come from me watching and grading it. So 7.5 plus 7.5 equals 15%. All right. When it comes to your classmates, you will have grading groups. Okay, so each week you'll have a group of 5 or 6 other students. In that group, you have to watch their videos, and you have to send me directly those grades, your grades for those videos. Okay, and when it comes to grading, you will be following this rubric, okay, or a similar rubric. I've included in this week's notes the rubric. So this is how you will be graded, all right? I will follow the same rubric as all of your classmates will follow. And I'll go through it a little bit more in depth next week, but just to help you prepare in making your video, pay attention to what's on the rubric, because when you get your grade, your classmates and I will be paying attention to these aspects. So if you're wondering, how do I make a successful news video? Well, use the hints that I've given you in this video. Use the notes on language and style that are very detailed here. And then also pay attention to the aspects here. All right, so again, I've already told you it should appear very natural. You should not appear to be reading. The length of the video too. If it's too short, you'll get a penalty. If it's too long, you'll get a penalty. Those are mentioned in the rubric as well. So read the rubric, and that should give you a little bit of a better definition on how to be successful here, because that is what you'll be graded on. All right, so this is the process we will follow. We have 6 video tasks to follow, and each of these tasks will take us about 2 weeks. The first week is for making videos. The second week is for watching videos and grading them, and we'll just kind of follow this pattern, and we'll have a new task roughly every 2 weeks. Okay? So I hope you can understand how this course will play out over the next, I guess, 14 weeks. And I hope you have a better understanding about what we are trying to accomplish for this, our first video task, making a news report. All right, I look forward to seeing all of these in the future. And again, if you have any questions whatsoever about what we're doing in this course, or any problems that arise, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'll be happy to listen to any of your problems and hopefully find any kind of solution or give you advice moving forward. All right. Be well, everybody. Take care.